All right, everyone, this is going to be a GitHub instructional video on how to set up a repository. I'll make another video for just using GitHub on a kind of day-to-day basis. So number one, sign up for GitHub on the website. Follow the instructions I left in the tools section on Discord to get your free GitHub Pro Student Edition. That'll help alleviate some issues that other teams were having. Once you sign up, and it is a bit of a painful process sometimes, you'll be on this dashboard here and you'll be ready to make your repository. A repository is just like a place on the GitHub cloud that allows you to store your project and allows many people to access it and read and write to it. So you can either create new here or go up here. Now, I like to do it from the website just because it lets me do one important thing here. So pick a name for your repo, whatever it happens to be. It doesn't really matter. You can make it private. And then the most important part is this little git ignore file here. Go here and go almost all the way to the bottom and add the Unity git ignore. This will add a little file that will tell GitHub to ignore certain files and folders in your Unity project that are not supposed to be on a server. They're things that generate locally, and it's not something you want to be pushing and pulling. They're very big files, and they actually cause issues if you use somebody else's library and other files too. So that's it. Hit create. It'll do its thing. When you're done, you'll have your repo here up on the top. So I'm going to go to my one that I made already. It only has one file in here, which is this git ignore file here. And you'll see here the different types of things it's telling what to ignore. So we can go over that at some point too if you want. But yeah, so that's it so far. Nothing crazy here right now. So a couple things you're going to want to do is you're going to want to add your Unity files into here. So what we're actually going to do first is we're going to take this repo, put it on our computer, add our Unity project to it, and then push all those files up to here. So you have a couple different ways of doing that. You can use a program called Git Bash and Git GUI. They are all installed on the school machines, and I tested it. It worked fine on the school machine. It does not like it here on my machine because I have a lot of other credentials with GitHub and other stuff going on for other projects. So it was just not a fan of me using that program. But if you are going to use it, you're going to go over to code here, and there is a like a little URL here for your Git. You're going to copy that. You're going to go to your Windows and you're going to open up Git GUI. That's what I like using. It's nice and simple. And you're going to clone existing repo. So you're going to pick your location, which is that URL that you copied. You're going to pick where it goes, which there's one little trick to it. It's not really a trick, but just like a little nuance thing. You can't put it in an existing folder, so you actually have to go in here and make another folder in here. It'll make it for you. You're going to hit clone. It's going to ask for your login info. For some reason, really does not like it here for me. But you can log in through here and it'll do its thing and download it. If this is not working for you, you can either try some other different things, like maybe you are inputting your password or something differently. Or if you go on the website here, you can go to open with GitHub Desktop. This will take you to a little website. I guess I already have it installed. If you click on that, you don't have it installed, it will ask you to install it. You can put that up. It's this nice little program here. It'll ask you to sign in and whatnot. And when you do that, it actually has all your repos listed in here, so you don't have to go copying and stuff over. So I could just click this one, hit clone. Clone means it's going to duplicate it on my machine, and those two are going to be kind of in sync. So it basically did the same thing. It just copied and pasted that URL. It's asking me where I would like to put it, so I'm going to put it somewhere else. Because it wants to put it in OneDrive, which is insane. There we go. And then it actually adds the NC game folder for me, which is nice. I'm going to go to clone. And that's it. So we're done here. And you'll see here, we go to my NC game, and it has a beautiful git ignore file, which is awesome. And that's it. So now your project is synced up between your machine and the cloud folder. And so let's do a quick little test here just to make sure it works. We're going to go on the website. I'm going to add a README file. Hello. And I'm going to commit my change. Okay, we're going to go back into here, either using Git GUI or this guy here. And we're going to fetch, pull one commit from origin. So it says I have something is different. So I'm going to pull that from the cloud onto here. And you'll see here it added a little README file, which I don't know if my machine can read. There we go. It says hello. Cool. So that worked very well. That's all good and ready to go. So we are ready to start a project. So you either might already have an existing Unity project, which is great, or you may not. So if you don't, you're going to go to Unity Hub, and you're either going to start your new project or do whatever and have that over there. So I'm going to go do a new project. And let's see here, we got C. Nope. Okay, we're going to call it my NC game or something, whatever. Connect to cloud, no thank you. Unity has their own version control, but you can only do it for 3 people, which is really lame. And what else do I have to select this organization? Cool. All right, I'm going to create my project. I don't remember if the git ignore has to go here or in here. It might have to go in here, so we might have to move some stuff around, but we'll check it out. All right, so I'm going to pause until this is done. Okay, so our Unity has finished making its project, which is great. And if we go into here, we'll see my NC game, all that fun stuff. Um, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to take this project and we're going to want to put it on the cloud so other people can access it. So now by default, I'm kind of made my folder in here, which is kind of silly. And then all the projects is kind of redundant to have a folder in the folder. So I could do a couple things. I could cut all this stuff out and paste it into this folder, and I'd have to relink it to Unity Hub. But if you like this, this is actually isn't the worst because you can kind of do some other stuff there. But let's take a look at if this git ignore worked. So I'm going to open up my GitHub desktop, and you'll see here, this is my current repository. And we'll take a look at how this looks like on, oh, I guess I can't take a look at it on Git GUI in this at home here. We'll take a look at that at school. But it'll look very similar, just not as fancy looking. So here it's going to have changes. I have 300 and plus changes. I have 13,578 files on my machine that I could potentially add to my game online. But I do not need most of these. So library, all that stuff. So my git ignore is not working because it is outside of the folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to drag this in here. Okay, and then I'm going to reopen up my GitHub, and you'll see here refreshed to 30 files. Much better, right? That's all I really want, right? My project settings right now, my one Unity scene that's in there, and basically just my project settings. That's really the only thing that's there, and my like git ignore file, and that. So a couple fun things here to learn. You'll see here there's a plus sign beside all of the brand new files that could potentially be added to my game. And you'll see here, there's actually the original git ignore is being subtracted. It's being deleted from the repo and it's being added to a different location. So that's what happens when you move stuff around. If it already exists on the depot, it needs to delete it and add it somewhere else. That's how moving kind of works. Um, so let's make these happen, right? So we can, we can kind of take a look at what we want to submit here. So I'm going to select all these guys. And right now I have nothing to commit because these aren't actually added in here yet. So I'm going to include selected files here. Oh, I guess these are in here. I just have to add a summary. Never mind. Adding project. Added by Alex. Now, it's very important to actually use descriptions when you're doing stuff, and we'll talk about this in the other video. It's just good for people to know what you're actually doing in your project and write something fairly descriptive. Don't just say updating stuff, doing art. Specifically write what you're doing. So we're going to commit this to main. Now, this is moved over from my current repository to my main branch, but I've only kind of just added it, so I have to push the files. So Git's kind of weird. You have like three stages. You have your local, you have a staging area where you kind of say you've committed them. I want these, I am committed to adding these files to the server or editing something. And then you have to do a push to actually push them up there. So let's take a look at what that looks like on the website here. So now I'm going to refresh, and now you see I have my folder here and all my stuff, which is awesome. All right, so that's great. Okay, and we have a project, which is awesome. And you've set up your project successfully. You've added it. All is well and good. Now, as the person setting up the repo, you have one more very important job, which is giving other people access. Because right now, only I may access this project because it's private and I made it and that's it. So, under your INC game or whatever the heck you called your game, you're going to go to settings. You're going to go to collaborators and you're going to invite people to be a collaborator. Okay, and you're going to kind of say, what kind of access they have, and you can change around some settings in here, but make sure you actually add people. So everybody on your team needs to sign up. They need to give you either their user ID or email. I think you could do both. Yeah, full name or email address or username. So, if you didn't sign up and you don't have access to the repo, it's your own fault. Um, your main person will add you if you have it. So that's pretty much it, right? So anyways, that's it. So now your repo is set up, you're good to go, and the next video will focus on actually working within GitHub. Okay, thank you.